Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this seminar. Before we start, I would like to go through some Zoom-related things. Just so you know, we will be recording this presentation and discussion so that we can later post it on our website and on our YouTube channel, FUF Play. We upload many of our events to these sites for people to see if they are not able to attend to the live presentation. So if any of you would like to turn off your camera, that's totally fine, although we do appreciate if we can see you. Also make sure that your microphone is muted. There's plenty of time for questions after the presentation, so just write them down in the comment section and we'll bring them up afterwards. Also, please try to keep the questions fact or like society-based today, so we're not too personal to our speakers. Lastly, to be sure that you can see the current speaker, we recommend that you use the speaker view setting instead of the gallery view. And now enough about Zoom. My name is Caroline. I work nonprofit within the event group at FUF. If you're not familiar with FUF, we are the Swedish Development Forum, which is a member-based organization. Our aim is to raise awareness and engagement about global development issues to contribute to a fair and sustainable world. And today we're here to discuss the current situation of Lebanon. I'm sure that all of you have seen that Lebanon has gained a lot of attention throughout media this year because of the complicated situation the country is in. And to learn about more about of what Lebanon is going through, I would like to welcome Miriam Rasho from Gothenburg and Abdallah Banna from Beirut. The word is yours.
Oh, okay. So should I introduce myself now? Yeah?
Yes, please.
My name is Miriam Rasho, and I'm from Gothenburg, but I live in Stockholm. I study at Stockholm University, Middle Eastern and North African Studies. And I'm also studying social work in Södertörns högskola. So short about me is that I'm a student, but I'm really interested in the MENA region. And I lived in Lebanon for 1.5 years and worked with refugees and charity and kind of stuff like that. And I studied Arabic over there. And I'm also a SIDA alumni, which is why I'm like talking at events like this. So I'm an ambassador of SIDA. And I travel a lot to Lebanon and Syria because I have a help organization in Syria. So currently I'm fundraising and I'm planning to travel to Syria in a couple of weeks, if it's possible. You never know with COVID. But so my organization's name is Esther's Help. So yeah, I'm gonna lead this kind of conversation with my friend Abdallah. So maybe you wanna tell us about yourself.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing fine. My name is Abdallah Banna. I am an undergraduate computer and communication engineer, digital marketing and a social media specialist. This is a small introduction about myself, and I am a political activist in this country. Miriam?
Yeah. So are we gonna start the presentation now, or Caro?
Yes. Let's see. Here we go.
Yeah, so there's so much that's happened in Lebanon just in this year. So we're gonna like touch all of the events that has occurred. And we're just gonna start briefly with the Lebanese revolution. The thing is, with all of these three things we're gonna talk about, you can talk about them for hours. So we will try our best to just, give some information about the situation in Lebanon. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is the Lebanese revolution, which started 1 year ago. And what kind of started this revolution or brought it, made it really intense and escalated, it was that the government planned to put taxes on WhatsApp, which is a free app, like I think most of you know. And it was kind of what brought people all together and united. So maybe, Abdallah, you can just tell us why that made that effect.
Okay, thank you, Miriam, and thank you, Caroline, for hosting this event. Basically, what we've been experiencing for quite a long time is a big corruption on all high levels. So eventually, the people were getting sick of it. They were trying to define this regime. They were trying to start this regime until the government eventually implemented it. Was trying to implement a tax over WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the biggest messaging app we use in Lebanon. We communicate with it for all our means of communication. Because if we're going to call and we're using landlines, the bill is really, really expensive. So our government came with the tricks. They were going to tax WhatsApp. They're going to bring a foreign company in order to crack WhatsApp and be able to tax us and add tax over this thing. Basically, they were not only violating our freedom, they were also violating our privacy, because once they crack this WhatsApp, they're going to have access to all of our conversations, to all of our data, to all of what we say, and to what we talk. So a few days before they announced that they're going to tax WhatsApp, the people revolted. We went on the streets. We protested and protested and protested to bring down this government. To bring down those government and all these politicians. We had estimates, numbers. We were in huge numbers. We ended up doing road blockage. Let's be honest. Let's be clear. All the protests were peaceful. No harm were done to properties. No harm were done to people. We were just expressing our freedom of speech. We were just expressing our right to revolt against what we think is wrong, is completely wrong. So this is, let's say, this is the main reason why the revolution, not directly the main reason, the trigger, if you want to say, what started the revolution, the trigger was the WhatsApp tax.
Yeah.
If you can see with the picture held over the presentation, you can see WhatsApp, gasoline, and food. This is our bread. They were trying to tax not also WhatsApp, they were trying to tax everything. Gas, bread, which we eat on daily basis. All the Lebanese people use this, eat this bread. No one, if this bread goes skyrocketing, if this bread price goes up, nobody will eat.
Yeah,
so basically this is what started the revolution.
Yeah, because if we just go back for because one of the main problems in Lebanon is the corruption.
Yes.
Which started long before the WhatsApp, and it goes back to after the Civil War.
Yeah.
So after the Civil War, when was it? The year where it ended?
So basically, we had 15 years of civil war. Almost all of Lebanon was destroyed until 1990. 1990, where a truce were held between parties. These parties then went and did something they called اتفاق الطائف. This is the key word. Where this is the funny part, where all the criminals and everyone who fought in this civil war, they brought them and made them leaders, and they were responsible for building this country. So basically, what they did, if we're gonna say in a short matters. So basically, what they did is they did nothing. They stole the money. They even caused more corruption. No reformations were done. They put the worst economical system we know. It's like it's an hotel. So basically, if this hotel has foreigners, it will work. If it doesn't have foreigners, it will not work. They also got too many donations from other countries for it to rebuild. Instead, they did nothing. They didn't invest in sustainable ways for the economy. They had no plan whatsoever on how to rebuild this country and bring it back to where it was before the civil war. They stole almost 80% out of the money given, and they gave the people 20%, not the people for like so all they did was roads, infrastructure, no factories, no nothing. They failed miserably. They failed over 30 years to rule or to even achieve anything. Until this moment right now, we do not have electricity 24/7. We do not have access to clean water. We do not have access to internet. Some places do not have access to schools. Some places do not have access to food. Some places even do not have road access.
Yeah. So you kind of answered the question on what's the government, what are they doing like about the economy, because they're not doing anything.
Right now, Miriam, Lebanon, we are facing one of the worst economic crises any country can face. And we're having a huge. I'm gonna explain it in this way. We have three prices for our currency. Okay, we have one official price, we have the bank's price, and we have the black market price. And imagine that the whole economic of a country is being controlled by a mobile app. So basically, right now, this owner of this app can basically skyrocket the price of the dollars for the LBP just if he gets a call from any politician, or he gets anything, or there is no way we have no place or an official place from the government to tell us what's the current rate. It's all done by black market and controlled by an mobile app. This mobile app is responsible for all the economic of Lebanon.
So yeah, that's shortly. Yeah, about the corruption and the system. So let's move on to the Beirut blast. So 4th of August in the summer 2020, a large amount of ammonium nitrate. I can't even pronounce it. Was stored in the port in Beirut.
Beirut port, yes.
And this exploded and caused over 200 deaths. 6,500 people were injured. And the damage that this explosion caused, it's estimated that it's up to like $15 billion.
True.
And the effect of is that the 300,000 people are homeless, and also this is just like the physical effect of the explosion. But as well, like the port, when that was destroyed, the food storage, all your supplies were destroyed because they were in the port.
Yes.
And so can you just tell us about kind of what happened after the explosion? How did the society react and so on?
Basically, the explosion it's one of, I don't know how the right way to explain this, but it's one of the most emotional moments any Lebanese ever felt. Half of Beirut city were in ruins. The explosion sound, where the explosion listened to Cyprus, the explosion blast received to Cyprus. It was really terrifying. We didn't know actually what happened at first, and we were not able to understand what happened at first until initial reports started arriving. After the blast, there was a complete absence of the government. Even our government don't have any crisis response unit. They can do nothing. There was no response. There was complete absence of the government, of the Lebanese government. What basically the Lebanese people do is what they do best. They supported each other. People from the same day, were on the streets rescuing injured, borrowing machines, bringing all what they can. People were actually just helping people with no absence of any governmental support or any governmental personnel or anything. Only the people helping the people. Our government did nothing. They were like, we don't know what to do. We don't have a plan. We know nothing. So people went down the streets, started cleaning the streets, building up things.
Abdallah, it's probably his internet. So,
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Sorry.
Yeah. So the civil society, like the people went out and cleaned. They were the one who organized how to build up Beirut,
yes.
right? And still doing it today. You were on the street cleaning, right? You went down.
Yes.
And
from day one, Miriam, we went to the streets, helping, doing what we can to help the devastated people of Beirut. In simple words, in absence of the government, people had to take actions to help other people.
Yeah.
Especially on a mass, this big scale of an event. This event still causes us trauma until this day. I don't believe anyone who lives in Beirut and anyone who experienced this event can just look and remember the day and feel the sorrow that we felt, feel the anger, feel the fear. We've recently, we had a storm. People were afraid of lightning, remembering the trauma, all the memories that happened came back, and the government till this moment did nothing.
Capital. This is a whole city that now has a trauma, and we're all in the midst of all the problems you already are facing. And just to put like a perspective on like how bad it is that like, because Lebanon, you live like, you import most of everything, all your supplies, most of it, it's imported, right?
It's imported, yes.
Like
we have zero local production.
Yeah, exactly. So 2006, when you were in a war with Israel, you had a glass industry that produces glass and windows, and that industry was totally damaged. Since 2006, the government haven't started or rebuilt it. So Beirut, like, there's kilometers of houses and like without any windows, and they can't even produce it in Lebanon. Like, this is how bad the situation is. They have so that needs to be imported, but they don't even have a port. So it's like a bad circle of non-functional things on all levels.
On all levels. So basically, Miriam, the current situation, we have an economical collapse, we have a political problem, we have a healthcare problem, we have a food shortage problem. The worst cases that could ever happen to any human being, right now we're facing it in Lebanon. We don't know, we live our day, we live to survive, we don't live to live. At the end of the day, when we reach our houses, we're grateful we are alive. We're grateful we survived this day. We're grateful we're able to eat. Right now, if we're going to talk, like, imagine working a whole day, even a whole week, for around $10, for around $15 maximum. This is one part of the situation. let us not forget also, this needs to be shed light on the people. When we, us as Lebanese, we tried to help each other, what the government did was basically, the Lebanese and the Syrians are close. We live together, we work together, we face each other in everyday life. So our government is racist to the point where they started arresting all foreigners or workers that are helping in the streets, especially Syrians. They arrested them and they were told that these people are stealing, or these people have the intentions of stealing, without even catching them red-handed. We had even videos circle the internet and go viral, where the police just went and arrested another workers in front of the house owner working with him, just because they do not have the permit. And this is what all our government do. They just
trying to find a scapegoat to the problems.
Yes.
So it's bringing up some racism.
It's always racist. Our country, due to the civil war and all what happened with it, it's based on sectarianism. We have more than 17 religion living in this small piece of earth. We have too many sectarianism. We have a high level of sectarianism, but to be honest, this is what the revolution was also doing. The revolution broke all the walls that were built during the civil war between these people. Now all the religious people, almost all of them, those who believed in Torah, talk to each other. Those who believed in the revolution talk to each other. It's something that supports the system, that supports the Lebanese people in order to stay together and stay more together. Part of really major change happened from the revolution.
Yeah, so let's move on.
Moving
to the current situation, which we're all in right now, COVID-19. So I mean, Sweden is dealing with it but in our own way. We don't have as strong restrictions as you. So right now, you had the revolution, you have all the problems, and you had the blast, and now you're facing you're trying to deal with COVID-19. So the hospitals, they are destroyed. Your supplies are gone, and it's just critical. So can you just tell us what's happening right now? How are you in Lebanon dealing with the COVID-19, and how do you have any specific restrictions? What does the government?
Yes, right now we're under lockdown. But let me before we reach this lockdown, I want to talk also. Everything in Lebanon is political. Everything that happens in Lebanon has a political reason. So basically, when we recorded our first case, we had a new government reform, and they were doing these mass media advertisers that the COVID situation is under control and blah 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 blah. What they actually did is one of the worst thing any government can do to their own people. We don't trust our government. We don't trust the numbers they gave us. We don't trust anything from them. We have zero trust in them because they always lie. So what basically happened is, during the revolution, we recorded our first case. So what they did is they started to fake these numbers so that people start to get scared, so that they were able to force the policemen to stop people from gathering, to force too many things. We had reports actually, people telling stories that they were paid to say that they were tested positive. They were paid to say that their beloved one died from COVID. Fake tests everywhere. They were fake testing everyone. So basically, I do not have COVID, but I go to test because I was told that I did interact with someone. What they did is they put us positive. This has too many effects. They were able to control the street through false information, through spreading false information. When the people started to be aware of this, they were like, the first mental idea that came to themselves, like, COVID is not real. Did you hear anyone? We were asking, even myself, we were asking, I don't know anyone who's been testing positive. Did you know? We started having doubts about the current COVID situation. Here, I blame really the country for what we are at now. Right now, we are facing a global, not a global, I don't know, a mass scale infection rate because of what our government implemented in the people's minds. Yani, we believe that COVID is fake. The government made us believe that that COVID is fake, and it was secretly spreading between the people. Secretly, and the numbers were getting higher and higher and higher and higher and higher until it reached like an unbearable level. Everyone is getting infected wherever they go. You just hear random deaths. We don't have enough beds. We don't have enough ventilators for people to support them. We do not have enough medicine. Our private hospital, our private sector didn't prepare himself, and was unable to prepare himself also for the current outbreak of this COVID. And basically, everyone is being infected without any control. So what the government right now is doing, they are imposing a complete lockdown. They are imposing 5 to 5. You are able to leave your house from 5 a.m. till 5 p.m. After 5 p.m., there's the hazard as well. If you can help me, Miriam, we cannot move around. We're under lockdown. We are actually under home arrest. And if you go out for the street, you'll get fined. You'll get fined for just going onto the street. Even if you go in your car without having your face mask on, or you're alone, you're going to be fined. You're going to be fined. And what's more funnier is they implemented almost a 70 years old procedure, which we have car plate numbers actually. Odd numbers can move on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Even numbers can move on Tuesday, Thursday. And on Sunday, a complete lockdown. Nobody can go out of his house. Nobody can go anywhere. The situation is completely miserable on all levels, on the mental level, on the economical level, on the healthcare. We're facing, all hell is breaking loose on us. People are dying in the streets. People are going. We're going to be starved. Eventually, we're going to be starved just because they can rule us again. Just because these people we call our politicians or the political leaders, they are forcing everyone to come back to them. Those who revolted on them, they are forcing them. They have power. They have money. They have the government. They have access to all the supplies which were supposed to be for the Lebanese people, but they stole them. We had after Beirut blast, countries were racing to support us, were racing to give us money, were racing to give us fuel, to give us food. They were donating in high scales. So what they actually did is they stole even those donations. They stole it. And do you know, really, Miriam, do you know what's really funny? 10 days ago, we had tons of flour stored in a really bad place. They were donated from us from Iraq. Iraq was facing also same situation and a very tough situation. They gave us flour. So basically, they were stored under a football field with zero control conditions. When a recent storm came, all of this went like, they're gone. They're going for the trash. We cannot use them. We cannot affect them. Even Qatar, gave us also glass. They donated for us glass.
Yeah, and it was stolen.
So this glass was stolen and sold on the black market.
Yeah.
The people get nothing from the government. They get literally nothing from the government. we have to do everything ourselves with zero help, with the zero support from the local authorities. Okay, there is one important thing. You know, in almost all countries, when you break the law, you are called by the police. The police comes to you, they call you. We do not get this call from this police. We get this call from military. We always be tried. We are always tried from military personnel, from military judges. No civilian judges will judge a civilian. We are being judged by military people. We do not have this system. We do not have a system that allows us to survive, that allows us to thrive. We have a bunch of corrupted people ruling this country, and they are refusing to do any reformation, any political reformation, any economical reformation.
Abdallah,
yes.
This leads us on to the next slide.
Yes.
Because we're already, which is further prospect. Further future.
I remember.
I just want to tell you, like, because you always tell me, like, you told me, like, since I met you in Lebanon, and because we are friends from Lebanon, you told me, like, that Lebanon is doomed.
Yes.
So, and right now, like, I'm seeing, and also, like, you are trying, like, the whole young generation in Lebanon, you're trying to leave the country, because most of you are highly educated, and there's no jobs, there's nothing for you there. So, but what kind of change, like, will we see in the future in Lebanon? Is there, like, any hope?
Actually, after the revolution, we started to feel hope. We started to feel that we can have a country. We want to have a government. We want to have a country, a real country. We want to have laws. We want to have laws that are applicable for everyone, that works on everyone without any corruption. We want to be treated equally. Imagine people are asking their government to trial them or to give them like to be judged on equal basis. This would never happen, not for the revolution. Hello, what really gives me hope is the young generation and our generation, what they are doing. If we're gonna talk on main events, we're gonna discuss main events. We were able to win union elections. These union elections represent, a union is a place where where workers protect each other from the misleading of company owners, from the government, and from stuff. So what really gives me hope is that we are able to win these unions back. We've won the lawyers union. We're currently fighting for the engineering union, which is considered one of the biggest elections in Lebanon. It's really huge, and we are fighting it on the whole level. This is one of the reasons why the government is not allowing us to have this election. Every time they find a reason to delay the election one more. The last reason was because of COVID and no gathering, and you cannot be gathered. And what gives me, even Miriam, really hope with the upcoming generation. Part of the political life we have in Lebanon is that we have elections in universities where they choose a committee that represents them with the university's policy and university instructors, like a way to communicate between this organization and the students is this committee. So we recently won with vast majority. We've won the Lebanese American University. We've won the AUB. In the AUB elections, the old political parties, they were dropping out. They were even fearful that they do not want to fight this election against us. They tried so many ways. We've run also. We had the place in Hariri's International University, BAU. HAU, sorry, I don't know the exact name of this university, but this give us hope. This really gives us hope that the young generation and the upcoming generation, they will be able to change this country. They will be able to win elections. These elections that will bring new people, new clean people, not corrupted, that can work for us, that can work really for the people, not for themselves.
Good.
This is what I have hope for this country. It's really hard to have it, but we try to maintain this level of spirituality. Yani, I remember you told me, you joke when we had the discussion, you're joking about it. It was like, it's our defense mechanism. Exactly. We joke about this stuff in order to be able to cope with it. Yani, we've been once told the happiest, saddest, called the happiest, saddest people on earth.
Wow.
This is us. This is the Lebanese people.
Well, so for the final question, before we can maybe have some time for maybe if the ones who are watching can write their question, is that like right now we're having this event, so because we want to know more about what's happening in Lebanon, but like what else can we do? Like we're trying to bring awareness to the topic and the situation you're facing. Is there anything else like Sweden, what we can do to help Lebanon?
Okay. Basically, what the people need they need to help the people directly. If we're going to talk about people, if you're going to cast donations, do not donate to the Lebanese government. Donate to NGOs working in Lebanon. Directly donate to those people who are in need. This is the only way how you can help the Lebanese people. Even if you want to take it on the next level, you can call your parties, your political leaders. We need. The funny thing is, our Lebanese leaders are they're controlled by foreign policies. These foreign policies control how they are talked and how they transform into local policies. What Swedish people can do is they can ask their government to pressure the Lebanese politicians, the Lebanese leaders, in order to force political reformation and economical reformations. Our country is really passive. Our Lebanese leaders are extremely passive. They even do not have their own money. This is really important. They even do not have their own money in the Lebanese banks. They have them stored outside. And I have to, sorry Miriam, I have to mention this part is really important about Lebanon. Our economical system is controlled by the banks. Here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. Our banks, these banks, give the government money. This money is stolen by the Lebanese politicians. And these banks are owned by who? By our politicians. They have shares, they have numbers. So basically it's a loop, it's a loop of infinite scam, of infinite corruption. And the banks give the government the money. The money is taken by the politicians without even questioning them. And then this money is these banks that gave the government the money are owned by the politicians. It's a mass of complete. And if we're going to discuss the Lebanese situation in depth, or we're going to have a discussion about the current Lebanese situation in depth, it can go endlessly with the things that's happening. Yani imagine we've spent billions of dollars over electricity, which we do not have. Yani we get 16 hours of electricity in the 24 hour. And if we have a fuel situation, we do not have electricity, we go without electricity. We do not have access to clean water. We do not have access for medication. Now medication started to be lost, to be shortage. Now we're starting to have shortage of medicine. Basically, if you have a headache, you cannot
yeah, there's no medicine. There's
no medicine.
So Abdallah, so let's just finish with so what we can do is we can put political pressure.
Yes, we need political pressure.
and donate to civil NGOs. So let's move on because we don't have much more time. Maybe opening, there's some questions in the chat, open questions. So the first, Caroline, do you wanna say them or?
Yeah, I can read them out loud for you. So first of all, we have a question from Isabella, which is, how are people mobilizing for the revolution during this lockdown?
Okay, so basically during the lockdown, we're doing a lot of online meetings. We're doing peer-to-peer. We're trying to avoid gathering since the outspread is really out of control. So the basic point we are using is social media. We are directly talking to people, trying to raise awareness on what we are doing and what we are trying to do, without even having the power for gathering. To have enormous gathers, which, to be honest, people blame the revolution. Or why did it stop? With the economic situation and everything happening, that people do not have enough resources to travel or enough resources to move. They basically, all they can focus on is how to survive economically, how to survive mentally, how to survive on all health levels. Mobilization won't happen as you think, like we're going over big protests like as it happened before COVID. We have hopes that during the elections we will win if we had clean elections, and I repeat, if we had clean elections. Since back in 2018, we had reports. You can check LADE. They were monitoring the elections. You can check their reports and see how much they cheated us with the elections.
Okay. Our second question is from Rosemary, and it's, do you think that union organizations in Lebanon can have an impact and change the current politics?
Yes. We believe that the unions are a small town that represents the biggest town. It's a small small scale that represents the biggest state. So basically, if we were able to win this small scale with high numbers, the bigger scale, which is an election, which we're talking about, local elections for Lebanon, we will be able to win. The more important thing about unions, as I mentioned before, is that they protect their own workers. And they will have the rules reformed for workers to be protected from the government, from company policies, from bad managers, from people trying to steal their rights. This is really important. The unions are really important for us to get back from the government, and we are taking them back one by one.
Okay, thank you. Then we have a question from Leah. She says that she spent the summer in Lebanon and heard from her Lebanese friends that they said that they have no hope for the new government because of all parties are corrupt. And she wonders if you think that there's any hope to overturn the government in the near future.
Okay. Yeah, I do. Basically, this is what we've been protesting for the street. What we've been asking for the street is a new government that the current political system and the current parties are not represented in it. We wanted the people, we asked for the right man in the right place. Those people who were able to direct the country, who were able to give us the right things we need and the right reformations. But political leaders, they're not gonna give up easily. They're not gonna they're like, hey, here you go, take your rights. We are sorry. This is not how the way it goes. Our regime is 100 years old. The system we are trying to fight, the system we are trying to defeat, is one of the toughest worldwide. It is backed up by religion. It is backed up by power. It is backed up by mafia. It is backed up by everything that doesn't represent the humanity, that doesn't represent the human rights. What we need our rights. We need basic human rights. We need access to food. We need access to shelter. We need access to the internet. The basic human rights that we really want to live. It is really impossible for us to live in this country, and every day we're facing a new challenge, which we try to survive on every day. Every day we try to survive. It's a mission of surviving, nothing more. So basically, to answer your question, if we have hopes that they give us the government that we need, we have hopes, yes, but not after we win the elections. Right now, I believe the revolution is under a steady state. It's not going up and it's not going down. It cannot force anything since we are facing everything: economic, pandemic, health crisis, everything we're facing it. People are just helping people. We have people they always donating and giving food because fathers cannot work. We do not have jobs. We are 40% unemployed. 40% of our people are unemployed. The level of corruption is really enormous on a whole scale. Yes, I do have hope that one day, even though a change doesn't happen in a year and a night, it's going to happen eventually.
Thank you so much. That's a really good answer. We have a question from Helen, which is, could you, Abdallah, go into the importance and the meaning of winning a union election a bit further?
I think I explained it. In a matter. Unions are really important. These people, the unions will protect each other. We will be able to protect workers from anyone trying to abuse them. Engineers, unions for engineering unions, health unions, all of these major people, they are able to protect each other. We force new rules on companies, on everything.
Yep. We have another question from Thomas, which is, are NGOs free to get funding to operate and to arrange activities, etc., or are they interfered by authorities and security forces?
Yes. NGOs, you can directly donate to NGOs. At first, they tried to cut this donation in order to steal it, but the people refused. And those who were donating directly to these NGOs. If you can go to GoFundMe, there were too many GoFundMe campaigns that were there. Sorry.
No worries.
GoFundMe, the money that came from GoFundMe came directly to the people. They didn't go to the government, and they were not use the direct connection with government. So basically, since we do not have access to PayPal or any of these stuff that you can pay online or get the funds, we had people abroad wire this money directly. From the GoFundMe, they got the GoFundMe money and wire them to Lebanon. We were able to receive these funds as fresh money, as NGOs, sorry, not me. They were able to receive this money as fresh money and use them in order to support in rebuilding, to support the humanitarian section, to support with food and whatever they can do to make it easier on the Lebanese people.
Okay. We have another question from Christian, and he says that he thinks that you should mention Hezbollah and their strong connection with Iran. He says that as long as Hezbollah is armed, regardless if they're a political party as well, economic sanctions will hurt Lebanon.
Indeed. The way I didn't go into foreign responsibilities or foreign relationship. All I was discussing the current situation in Lebanon from Lebanon. All the political parties, including Hezbollah, including all political leaders, everyone. That's why we have shi'ar we use in our revolution, كلٌ يعني كلٌ. Everyone is responsible. They are responsible for the corruption. Every one of them, not only Hezbollah. Not only one party is responsible for this. All parties are responsible. All political parties that ruled this country from 1990 till the point of revolution are responsible, and they are still ruling, are responsible for what we have here. They're not only corrupted, they are really, they are the complete meaning of what failure is. They failed. They failed to help. They failed to bring us our basic rights. They failed to give us medicine. They failed to give us electricity. They failed to give us schools. They failed to give us access for the internet. We have one of the highest bills in the world for internet. We pay $29 for 10 gigabytes of internet. 10 gigabytes, that's around, if we're gonna talk, that's around if we're going to watch 5 movies. If you're going to download and watch 5 movies. We have one of the highest bills we pay for electricity. We've been, right now, 2 days ago, I received a bill from 2016. They are a complete failure for the people. They do not deserve to be rulers. They deserve to be in prison. We deserve a better life. We deserve a better community. We deserve better support. We deserve really to be humans. We are not the humans. We are living, we are living in a in an animal shelter. This animal shelter, it's complete madness. Complete madness. Literally madness. Yeah, we don't, I'm not gonna repeat myself anymore, but the basic human needs, the basic rights, we don't have them. We say we live in a democratic country, but in fact we do not live in a democratic country. We live in a dictatorship. We live, if you talk to someone who doesn't like it, talk to someone who doesn't like it, they can call someone who is on connection, who have connections, and the next day you'll find yourself in prison. This basically sums where we are living.
Thank you so much. We have another question from Andrea, which is, in what ways are you managing the food situation since the import is restrained?
Okay, so we have people donating. We try to donate as much as we can for each other. We have people organizing. We have organizing how we're going to donate. We give to the poorest first. We try to give as much as we can, as long as we have access to fresh money. Since our banks has, the funny thing is also they are refusing to give us our money. Our money is literally gone in the banks. We have no access for it. The only money we have access for is the Lebanese lira, which we usually use, which is, to be honest, is worth nothing. Since we import everything. And right now I have a broken screen. I have a broken screen that costs around $159. I have to work a complete month in order to fix my screen. We have no access for anything. This is how we are managing. We are trying to manage actually with the support of each other, with the support of the not NGOs, I don't know how to say it, of the community we created to each other, with the support group we created to each other, how we talk to each other. We try to give as much as we can. We try to support the poorest. We try to support whoever is in need. And right now, I had someone asking me to bring him pencils for his kid. They want to send, we even at this situation, people are still thinking that they want their children to have an education. And he came just asking, he was like, please, I need your help in order to get me 5 pens. 5 pens for his children to be able to write the book and the booklet. This is how mad the situation is, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse if they do not stop. They do not start to reform. We need reformation. We need outer pressure over our political system. If we're going the other way around, if we decided not to go to the peaceful road of protest, we'll be ending up killing each other. We'll be ending up forced, going into clashes with the police, going into clashes with our army.
We have a really good question from Omran, who he wonders if you were to be elected as Lebanon's next prime minister, what would the first decision be that you took?
This is a really good question. Basically, I will what we were asking for from the new government. It is to have jurisdiction. It is to have extra jurisdictions. We need too many reformations. The first step, the first thing we have to do is reformation, is economical reformation. I'm not an economical expert. I do not know. I do not claim to know what's the right steps to be done. But what right now the main focus will be over two things: economy, supporting the hospitals, and finding medicine and bringing all the donations we can for the COVID people not to die from them. Yani, economy and the pandemic, these are the two main situations. These are the two main really very stressful situations that we are facing over daily, and the outspread of COVID and the current economic crisis. So basically, what would I do? I will put all the focus on these, especially with reformation, political and economical reformation. We need this tax reformation. And if we're going to go in depth with this, we can go endlessly with what's wrong, and what's things that are wrong are really endless. The taxes are wrong. People who have multi-million dollars are being taxed the same as the people as have $10,000. Mentally, right? Logically speaking, it is not right. We need too many reformation, which they are refusing to give us. Eventually, they're gonna create a war. They're gonna create a fake war for them to stay in their positions. That's why we really need outer people to say to these politicians, stop. And we really need outer countries to stop having interest in this country. Support the people, not the government. We need support for the people, not for the government. The governments are corrupt, and other countries have the same corruption because they are talking about corruption, because they want these people on power because they serve them. They're not gonna give it to that. They're not gonna give us our rights like easily and take them here. Here you go. These are your rights. We need pressure. We need outer pressure. We need inside pressure. We are doing everything we can.
In line with that, we have our last question, and it's from Victor, and he wonders, do you know any specific NGO that are reliable for people outside of Lebanon to donate to?
I will contact Miriam with that. I'll give her more details about this. But please make sure, no matter whatever you can donate, are going to donate. Just donate $10, $5. Buy us a beer. Just everyone here who can just buy us a beer. $2 right now can feed. $10 per day can feed three families. A single beer, 2 beer can feed 3 families. We can survive like this, but eventually you're not going to be donating forever. We need real solutions. We need real pressure over the political system for it to give us real solution, or at least to give us an election, a clean election. This is what we really want. Let us rule this country. Give us the chance to rule this country, and we will teach you how things are done. We can literally teach you how things are done. We have the stupidest, most ignorant, most corrupted politicians in the whole world. We do not have a connection. I'll sum this up. I'll end this with the current situation. We do not have a connection with the government. We have a customer relationship with this government. Not a person to the government, a customer relationship. This customer relationship has to go through the political leader, since he controls the keys. If you wanted a job, this is one of the really bad things we are facing. Since the right man doesn't go to the right place. The right connection goes to the wrong place. If you have connection with a political leader, eventually you're gonna add in that position because he has access for this country. He has access for this government. He has power over this government. This is how our system is built. This is what we have been trying to change since 2009 and 2011. We've been going on protest for more than 10 years now. Protest until the Lebanese revolution, which went global, and they refused And they were like, you don't exist, and we don't exist. They do not care about us as humans. They see us as fuel for their wars. They see us as fuel for what they can get from us. They give us nothing. There's some people right now who disagree with me in this country. There's some people right now who think that their political leaders are right. Who thinks that since this guy is from this religion, he is right. This is wrong. What's really the most beautiful thing that happened during the revolution is that we broke these walls that the politicians built between us, that told us the person from the another religion is going to kill you. He doesn't. We broke this. We had now we have homes. At least for me, I have home in SIDA. I have home in Trablus. I have home in Dahi. And I have a place wherever I can go. We've broken all the walls between us. We can go to each other now. We talk to each other daily, ignoring the fact that I am from a different sect and you are from a different sect. We are really interacting, building up this community.
I think we have to round up, I'm afraid, but we have Miriam answered in the comment section Victor's question. There's a NGO in Sweden called A Demand for Action, so definitely check that out if you want to help Lebanon and donate. And I want to say thank you so much to Miriam and to Abdallah for coming here today and teaching us a lot. I've learned so much today. And thank you everyone who has been here and listened to. If you're interested in joining us at PUF or wanting to engage in some type of way, go to our website puf.se and look at what we're doing to spread the word about questions like this one. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Miriam. Thank you for hosting this event and shedding light over the current situation in Lebanon.
Thank you for coming. It's been great.
Thank you.